who helped shape our pop culture from its infancy to its present grown-up status. Now, a look at three of the entrants into the Real Men Club of the 80s. Canada's Bryan Adams, America's Richard Page, and Britain's John Taylor. His is the face that launched Duran Duran and brought on hysterics from millions of teenage girls. But for John Taylor, music is the important point, and he's made that point in several ways, including 2 top 10 hits with the Power Station, confirming that this 25-year-old knows what he's about.
I am definitely what I am. That was one of the reasons why I went off into the Power Station, was to get a little bit of objectivity about myself. It's very hard, yeah, but it just depends who you surround yourself with, you know. I mean, I'm very close to my parents, and then, you know, I'm going to treat me as a star. And, you know, the friends I have are friends that I've had for a while. And I think it's the people that you surround yourself with. And if you want to be in a bubble, I mean, a lot of people prefer, I mean, I prefer my real self to the public image.
Taylor believes that 1986 is a milestone year for Duran Duran. The group is older, more mature about their craft, and looking for credibility.
Duran Duran never really had any musical integrity. I mean, the press, the media have always been very anti the group. We were always a group for teenage girls and nothing more, you know. So we're kind of on the up as on the credibility front at the moment. I've got a little bit more now than we've ever had. I can be very cynical. I'm very cynical when I start watching the Grammys and the Academy Awards, and I think, God, if only I was a personal friend of Ken Kragen's, I just might get a Grammy one day, you know. So I get very, very cynical about the politics of the music business. I just find the more I try to deal with the BS, you know, the more logical you have to be about situations, and just let it go and be cool about things, because I used to get myself so worked up about every little, I mean, I still do to an extent. I'm just trying to be very cool for the camera.
Members of the internationally popular rock group Duran Duran temporarily separated from one another in 1985. Actually, they splintered into 2 separate bands called Power Station and Arcadia. Ostensibly, the reshuffling was to allow everyone an artistic stretch, and bass guitarist John Taylor stretched himself right into a big solo hit with I Do What I Do, the theme he wrote and sang for the movie 9.5 Weeks.
Do you feel the way you wanted to feel? Are you happy now? Stop and fantasize. 6 months ago, if I thought that, you know, there was going to be a John Taylor record on the market, I wouldn't have believed it. I didn't have any intentions of that happening. I mean, I'm not really competing for the throne by doing this record. I have no desire to go out on stage, center, and pick up the microphone.
However, as the song goes, I do what I do, and Taylor did. His theme from 9.5 Weeks not only made the charts, but did so well it outlasted the movie, which almost didn't survive the number of weeks in its title. Still, the steamy performances of Mickey Rourke and Kim Basinger made a sufficiently lasting impression to inspire Taylor's video, if in a roundabout sort of way.
I've seen the film so many times, I'm getting so bored with it. And I started to watch the audience. It was in one of these small screening rooms. And, you know, it is so provocative, the film, at times, especially to women. I started to watch the way the audience was reacting, and, you know, the men. And it was actually quite an entertainment in itself, was watching the people and the way they reacted to it.
How was it to do a song without the support of Duran Duran? Was it like riding a bicycle without the training wheels?
After doing the Power Station and Duran and doing like 2 years of big bands, you know, working with a lot of musicians, it was nice to do something that was all at our fingertips. I didn't feel I had to prove any level of independence to anybody but myself, really, and I feel I've done that.
So now it's back to the old drawing board as Duran Duran tune up again in unison for a new album scheduled for recording in June. Despite his successful burst of independence, Taylor feels there's a certain comfort in running with the pack.
I'm looking forward to working with them again. I mean, Duran Duran has always been a fairly volatile situation because we have a very unnerving hierarchy in that we're all massive egomaniacs. 6 months ago, I was telling people, no, I'm not, I don't know whether I'm interested. But now I'm really excited about it.
The success of Duran Duran was so big and so fast. Did you have trouble handling the fame?
I certainly feel a lot better having taken a breath. You know, you spend 5 years on the road in a pop group like that, and you get your backside wiped for you, you know, and you get everything done. And it's you lose all reality.
Fortune. Have you been smart enough with your money so that you can afford to do what you want to do?
Well, it's all relative, isn't it? I mean, if I wanted to go back to Birmingham and, you know, go and live with my mum and dad again, yeah, I would never have to work again, but the lifestyle I quite enjoy now. There seems much more to do now. Seems much more can be achieved.
An achiever he is, especially considering he's only 25 years old. And the vagabond lifestyle does indeed suit him, allowing him to go the distance and volunteer his talents, promoting the cause of Amnesty International. A long way for a middle-class boy from Birmingham, England to wander. But for Taylor and his childhood friend Nick Rhodes, there was never any doubt they'd arrive at their destination.
With me and Nick, it was like the egg before the chicken. We used to sit around in Birmingham, we'd go to nightclubs and see bands and stuff. And after about 2 years of being trainee pop stars, we couldn't figure out why we weren't getting anywhere. So that was when we first decided to take up musical instruments.